Hello and welcome to my podcast. Do me a favor, subscribe to the John Keim Report wherever you get your podcasts, and check us out on YouTube. Go to Empire Media, that's AMPIRE, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It is always much appreciated. Today, I'm joined by Washington rookie safety Percy Butler. A lot to talk about with him, his potential role in Washington's defense this year, the influence of his grandfather and his dad. Growing up in Plaquemine, Louisiana, where another former Washington player, Brian Mitchell, also grew up. They have a relationship now, and so we talk about that. Plus, I ask him about breeding dogs. Yes, he does that. A lot to talk about with Butler. I think he's a smart kid. I think you're going to enjoy the interview because you'll learn a thing or two about him, how he goes about his approach, the focus that he has, and how he was the one common denominator with he and Brian Mitchell. And I remember asking Brian Mitchell this one time way back when about being a fifth round pick. And he said, a lot of times people get drafted and they think they've made it. He said, I think I just got started. That's why Mitchell lasted a long time. And I think that's an approach that Butler will take as well. For now, he is working behind Derek Forrest as the third safety. Forrest has played throughout the spring, has looked breaking a lot better, playing a little bit faster. I think with Butler still learning some things, and you can see that there's, I wouldn't say hesitation, but I don't think he's moving as fast as he's going to when he starts to get it. That's natural. They're also using Benjamin St. Juste in that nickel role when he's inside playing the slot corner. It gives him some size inside there. So we'll see how it develops. But I think if nothing else, I think Butler will be a good gunner for them this year, and the guy who can certainly develop, whether it's this year or early in the year, mid, late, or next year. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be again, if nothing else, maybe a key backup for them. We'll see. But I think he has the tools to develop. And I think you'll like what you hear. So stay tuned for that in about a minute or two. Before I get there, let's get to the fun stuff. Jack Del Rio, once again, since we talked last, he has been fined $100,000. Ron Rivera put out a statement. I'll get to that in a minute. And then on Saturday, Del Rio deleted his Twitter account. And I was talking to somebody today who knows Jack and who's worked for him, et cetera, and said, Jack's a guy who can't help himself. So it's probably a smart thing for him to do, because this is a franchise so worried about its brand right now. And as you know, the brand has taken a huge hit over the last couple of years. So their goal is to rebuild it. And they don't want to create the kind of headlines that they had last week and that they are still kind of getting because of all this. So I think for Jack, probably a good thing. I wouldn't have been surprised if he goes out there and had done something again that leads to something a lot more than just a fine. And there you go. So anyways, that's it. And again, Ron Rivera put out a statement the other day, just kind of explaining why they wanted to fine him and went into a lot of depth. And again, when I was talking to somebody, their takeaway was less about the fine and more about the statement. And they wondered how that was going to play out with Rivera and Del Rio. We'll see. I think with Rivera wanted to certainly make his own statement on the situation so people know where they stand. And again, this is a franchise that is trying to rebuild its brand. So you can like or dislike it. I'm just telling you how it is. Now, you've seen some ex-players come out and rip Del Rio for what he said. Ed Reed joined the chorus the other day. I know D'Angelo Hall tweeted a clown emoji at him the other day. All I can tell you is I talked to 7 different people who either represent players, are friends with them, whatever, but they're very tight with these guys. There hasn't been a single guy who has said, oh yeah, I think this is going to be an issue. And I think I told you the other day, talked to somebody close to Chase Young, and the comment was, that's Chase's guy. He loves him. So you can like that, you can dislike it, whatever. I'm just telling you, that's what I've heard. If I hear differently, I will tell you. But I think part of it too is these players have a relationship with him that extends beyond a tweet or a comment. And I think he is somebody who genuinely says, if you want to come talk to me, that he would talk to them. I think they know that. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to like him. Doesn't mean that everybody who's worked for him likes him. I've heard that he can be a difficult guy to work for. Okay. I talked to someone today who is with somebody who coached with him and said that they were fine with the experience, but they're glad that they're, somewhere else right now. They weren't here in Washington. So, but the point is, like, he's going to be a guy who could rub people the wrong way regardless. But I'm just telling you that right now, what I've heard from people close to the players is that this will not be an issue in the locker room. We'll see where this goes. There you go. All right, now let's get to on the field. Washington has their 3-day mini camp coming up this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A big question will be, does Terry McLaurin show up? Now, Ron Rivera said he expected him to show up. I don't know that that's going to happen. We'll see. He clearly is making a little bit of a statement by not being there. He's a team leader. They know he's going to be prepared whenever he comes in. It is mandatory now. Why wouldn't he show up? Well, part of what the agent wants is to create, again, more leverage. And part of that leverage is getting fans to get upset. So if he doesn't show up, you guys aren't going to be happy about it. And what are you going to do? You got to sign him. You got to sign him. Well, they know that. And these guys, Washington knows they got to sign him. But I think so if he doesn't show up, it could be about that. Other people think that he will show up because that's the kind of guy he is. There has been communication with him. So I think they feel good, at least about that, understanding what he wants from a contract. And so I think, if he does show up, I think it could be a situation where he does some things, but maybe doesn't participate in a lot of things, but that he is here since it is mandatory. And one thing we know about McLaurin is very much into being a team leader. Just he understands his importance to this team. So, but it's still something to watch because we don't know what's going to happen. I look forward to watching minicamp because I missed a couple of OTA practices. So it'd be nice to see guys over 3 consecutive days. I'm curious to see how Jamin Davis has been developing. You hear some things that he's playing a little bit quicker. Be nice to see it over 3 days. Cole Turner, what's his potential for this year? And I talked to Logan Paulson about it in my podcast on Friday. Go back and listen or watch that one because I thought Logan was really insightful on it, talking about the tight end group. But I want to see how Cole does. Sam Cosmi, how is he developed? De'Ami Brown, what kind of consistency is he showing in practice? So that's why I'm anxious or curious, what I'm most curious to see over these next 3 days. And by the way, I'm going to post probably about a 10-minute video after each of the minicamp practices, just to give you an update every day about what's happened, what I saw, things that went on. There you go. And we'll probably hear from players on Tuesday about what Del Rio, he's supposed to get up in front of the team in a meeting and address the situation. So what do they say? We'll see. So just so you know, I have it every day. So check it out. And there you go. With that, it's time for Percy Butler. So let's get to my conversation with the Washington Commanders' 4th round pick. Percy, when I asked Billy Napier about I asked him a couple weeks ago a question that said, where do you think Percy gets his toughness? And his response was, have you ever been to Plaquemine, Louisiana? And I hadn't, but I know Brian Mitchell. I know how tough he is. So that told me a lot. But what does that mean to you when you hear him say that? Like, what is being from Plaquemine? How does that give you your toughness?
Basically, that just means like I'm a product of my environment, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, just growing up, I ain't gonna say we had it the roughest, but it wasn't always my family, it wasn't always the best, We always wanted a better situation than what we was in. So I feel like that just made me go harder, just wanting to be at the top and have better situations from me and the people who I love.
And so, like, how did you see that? As far as does it play out on the field that way? Do you feel that when you're on the field that you just kind of come with a different toughness because of that?
Yeah, I'll say that. But what really made me come like that, like when I really started liking football, was my senior year when I had quit playing baseball, and like I really was mad that I couldn't play baseball. So I just used that anger from that, and it brought it to the field. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And I was going to ask you about baseball because I heard you were a pretty good player. Why'd you stop?
So my high school had hired a coach, and me and the coach wouldn't really, I wasn't seeing eye to eye with the things that he wanted to do for me, rather than what the old coach had plans for me. So like that just took me away from the game, for real.
And that was your first love, right?
Oh yeah, that was the sport. Like while everybody else doing 7-on-7 and all that, I'm playing travel baseball. So like that was the sport like I used to do through the summer. So like I just was playing football at first. I wasn't really, like trying to play football, but I was just being on the team. You know what I'm saying?
And what kind of like what position you play in baseball? I'm assuming a lot of stolen bases too.
Oh yeah, I stole third, second. Well, I stole second probably every time I got on base, but I just stole third and got safe too. Beating out ground balls to second base, stuff like that.
Listen, I'm right there with you. I was a leadoff hitter. Stolen bases were my thing, and I just like as my cockiness, I used to go into second standing up just to let the catcher know he couldn't. He had no chance to get me. So
Yeah, that.
yeah, I bet. So did you? So but then you went to. So then you turned to football more. Not turn to football, but you focus on that more. Are you surprised, like where it took you, or did you know, like, hey, I could make something in this too?
I ain't gonna say surprised because it was something that I always had my mind on. So like once I'm a person. If I put my mind to something, I'm gonna get it accomplished. So like a lot of people who I was telling this to was surprised, but some people, like they see me, like they see I'm serious, so they know like he gonna handle his business. I believe him. Like one of my barbers in Plaquemine, he posted like I've been told y'all this. Like we've been had this talk. So like I mean I wasn't surprised, but I mean I'm grateful though.
Sure. And what changed it? What put you on? Because again, you have the toughness, you have speed and all that. What made you a better football player that put you from a guy who was maybe going to go play baseball to now doing this to now getting to the NFL?
Uh, I'm gonna say basically like people probably look at football like as in like you just got to be a freak athlete, but in reality, like football really like a game planning sport. Like when you can use your brain and have the athletic ability, I mean like that just changed everything about you and it just make you a whole different player. So I felt like when I was able to use like my smartness, because I always been good in school, like when I apply myself. So like when I really use my brain on the field and it just started clicking, like the whole game just slowed down. It was like everything was moving in slow motion for real.
My understanding is like when you go back to your room, you're studying your playbook and you're having people quiz you on what's in that book. Is that kind of accurate right now? Is that what you've been doing a lot?
Right now, I ain't been having people quiz me. I really been like a lot like to myself. So
Okay.
like basically like I'll have like we'll get a new install and like the plays that I think like was the hardest to me, I'll rewrite them and I keep them in my brain for when I go to sleep. And then like I even have a dream about it sometimes.
Really?
I wake soon as first thing when I do when I wake up, I quiz myself. Boom. I write down the plays and I see how much of the stuff I can rewrite on the paper. Then I go compared to the real notes that I took in the meeting. So then like it just stick with me after that.
That's impressive because I haven't heard many guys doing it like that. The other thing, your daughter stayed behind and they're behind in Louisiana, correct? Right now.
Yeah.
So when are they going to join you? And that does that allow you to basically to concentrate on learning this playbook now?
Uh they should be able to join me probably September.
Okay, so you're able to
September.
focus now on this.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So like I probably you
There
still
you
there?
go. Yep.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna have them out here until like after camp, you know what I'm saying? When I have everything straight on my end and so I can have everything straight at the house that I'm getting for them too.
Okay, and how nice is it, even though you're kind of back and forth, to be a dad right now and to have all this going on?
Right now, I mean, it's like I'm in the middle, like I'm happy about my situation, but at the same time, I really rather spend this time with my daughter. But I know like to like for to get where I want to be, I'm gonna have to take this time. It's gonna be some missed time. It's just another sacrifice like that I had to get to take that I to get where I'm at right now. So I just look at it like that. But I miss my daughter every day. It's just
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you. It's a lot of fun when they're first born. How do you feel like you have been learning stuff then? And when you're going back and watching practice film and seeing what you're able to do, how do you feel you've been progressing because of the work you're putting in?
I'm gonna say like basically like some mistakes that I make, I'm not making the same mistakes out there. So like, boom, like when you coming from college to NFL team, like you're gonna be playing a whole different techniques.
Right.
So I'm just learning like new techniques, how coach want this job done, what type of footwork I'm gonna have to use right here. And I was using my college footwork on some of them, but that's not the same footwork that coach want me to do. So just like switch, like getting used to the different techniques and learning the plays.
There was a route combination that I saw when you guys were in rookie minicamp that the first time you saw it, I could see there was like a little bit of confusion on your end. I think it was something down the seam, if I remember right. The next time you saw it, you broke right. Is that kind of like some of the stuff you're talking about, like just things getting used to and not making that same mistake twice? And do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like things like that. So like the team motion a lot. Like when you first get in the play and the team motion, like that's confusing. You know, you used to seeing it on paper where it's not moving.
Right.
So when stuff start moving, that's really what slow people down. You know, like so like it when it first time, like I know you're talking about they motion the man. So
Right.
I was slow on what my check and adjustment was. But the next time I seen it, I'm already knowing like boom, call this. They finna run this same route, jump. So like just different things like that, you know, and that come from watching film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it does. That listen, when people talk about instincts, to me, instincts are when you are studying and you combine your studies with your brains. That allows you to play with good instincts, and that seems to be what you did in college too. The other thing too, like, how do you feel? They're talking about using you at that Buffalo nickel, that third safety position. How do you feel that you? What do you think about that spot, and how do you feel you've been progressing there early on?
I feel good about that spot. Loving the loving it for real. Like I'm loving like the scheme and everything, like how they want me to play. So like really I'm just trying to learn all the plays, stack days on top of days, good days on top of good days, enough to where coach trusts me to put me in. And hopefully I'll be running that Buffalo nickel this season.
Yeah, and it's a big part. Have they let you know how big a part that is with this defense?
Oh yeah, most definitely. They call it a lot. Like they'll be like, play high, play Buffalo, play high, play Buffalo 2 plays. It's like so it's like I'm really learning basically like the whole secondary except corner right now. So like it's a lot on my plate, but I feel like I'm taking the right steps to handle everything.
Who's helped you with that too?
So a lot of the veterans like Bobby McCain, Cam Curl, Jeremy Reeves, like a lot of the guys, like mostly everybody who in the safety room or in the secondary, I played like the regular nickel spot. They'll like if I mess up, they'll chop it up on how they feel like it should go. Tell me how do they play it so I can learn from them. So I'm really learning from everybody in the secondary.
And then special teams. And I think I asked you this at the rookie minicamp, but you seem to really, really enjoy that gunner role just based on watching you play, because you don't make those kind of plays if you don't enjoy it. Why do you like playing the gunner position?
Uh, I'm gonna say because that's what first got me on the field in college. You know what I'm saying? Like special teams. When I went in there, like we only had like 3 plays at Platinum, so like it was real hard for me to learn a big playbook,
Oh yeah.
and especially like Coach Tony playbook. So like I had to take special teams to be on the travel squad. Like if I didn't play special teams, I would have been at home without a team going out to different states and stuff like that, and I didn't want to miss that. So I took special teams like serious. And then like I just always did it serious, like from that year on.
How much do you enjoy watching those? Like when you're watching highlights, do you get a bigger kick out of watching on special teams or defense?
Uh,
Does it matter?
it don't really matter.
Okay. It hits
When I
the head, I guess, but there's got to be a special thing with special teams though, because not everybody wants to do it.
yeah, I'll say everybody don't want to do it, but like it's anything within the game of football, I love to do it. So like, I mean, it's football at the end of the day.
When Sean Taylor was here, I remember he used to talk about how he wanted to be on kick coverage on special teams. so he could set the tone on the opening kick. That's what
Most,
he wanted to do. Is that something you like to do?
most definitely. It set the tone and get the butterflies out your gut for defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, the other guy from Plaquemine who played here was Brian Mitchell. How much have you talked to him, and are you guys actually related?
Uh, we actually talked a lot. Like he always tell me to reach out if I ever need anything, if anything go wrong. So like he always one call away, and like I really I don't know if we can, but I think we is though. Like our city small. I think he told me 15,000, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you got like, I mean, it's funny because you guys have a similar mindset too. What did you notice in talking to him? What kind of advice has he given you?
He just give me like the advice. Just keep doing what you always been doing, going to work, and just stay grounded and humble. Most definitely, and keep eating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How much did you know about him as a player growing up there?
Uh, I mean, I know a lot about B Mitch for real. Like, so like everybody will be talking about him. Like when I went to UL, they was all talking about him,
Hmm.
and that's when I really started like doing my studies. You know, like learning who he was and what he did. And I was like, oh yeah, he the truth.
He liked to talk a little bit too. Yeah. But the one thing he said though, and this is something that feels like you have the same mindset when he got drafted, he was a 5th-round pick. And he said that when he got drafted, he goes, a lot of people told him you made it. He goes, no, I haven't made it. Now I have to go make it. You know what I mean? He didn't think that getting drafted just meant he made it. Is that kind of your mindset too?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like this, I just look at getting drafted as just like the start. You know, it's just like an invitation. So like I still got to show up to the party and produce. So that's how I feel.
There you go. Now, the other thing, when going back to the plaque mine stuff and, you know, whatever I remember seeing something, how you had said something about your dad basically keeping you on that straight path, right?
Yeah.
What kind of things would he do with you? And I guess you're also close to your grandfather as well. So what kind of things would they do for you to kind of help you along the way?
So like I feel like when I just be doing like crazy stuff in the neighborhood or stuff like that, just doing stuff to get in trouble. Like my daddy, he always kept it real with me. So like he'll tell me like, nah, you can't be doing that. While other people just telling me it's okay, you just made a mistake. He gonna keep it real, like, nah, no, don't do that again. Like, so like that really like helped me a lot. You know, just having somebody who really gonna keep it real with you in your corner, like, and not gonna just say this and that just to make you feel better. You know what I'm saying? He don't care if you hurt your feelings or how you feeling. If you mad at him for a whole month, he gonna tell you what it is.
Do you remember any time in particular that you can share?
Uh, I don't really want to speak on it.
Okay, I was. If you're getting in trouble for a month, it may be best not to
I
share
don't
that.
really want. I don't want to speak on it.
But what about your grandfather too? Because I understand you guys are pretty close.
Oh yeah, that's really like my grandpa, like my best friend. So like, if I get in trouble, like I get shipped to his house. So like, his house was just quiet and it was just chill. Like I ain't have nobody who I knew. Like, so I wasn't going out. So I'm sitting in the house out there, and I hate sitting in the house. Like I'm an outside person. Like I like the country, so I'm an outside person. So like they really used to be my point. But my grandpa, like my best friend, like we chop it up. Like that just like my right hand man for real.
Really? Like, do you like to do things with them? Is there anything you guys like to talk about or
Uh,
do?
we be fishing a lot. Yeah, we used to go fishing a lot. He just been slowing down, you know, getting older and stuff. So it been slowing him down. But our main thing was fishing. We'll go like he'll take me to like certain spots, like old spots, like when he was a kid to eat
Oh,
and stuff like that.
you get some fried catfish.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Not very healthy, but it's good stuff. The other thing you like to do is breed dogs. What got you into that?
I'm gonna say what got me into breeding dogs. I'm gonna say really just my love for animals. Like I like all animals, but like dogs, like they just like if you having a bad day, your dog gonna cheer you up. Like you can not feed your dog for months and your dog still gonna love you the same and still be happy with you. And I like dogs for that. Not saying that I don't feed my dog.
I know I didn't think you did, but yeah, I was gonna make sure of that, but I didn't think that was the case. But yeah, I got you. I agree. You could come home after a terrible day and your dog's gonna be wagging his tail. So it's always kind of nice. How long have you been doing this?
I really been breeding dogs since like when growing up, like me and my big cousin who I was telling you about, he used to live in the trailer. So we had like pit bulls wrapped all around the trailer at one point. So like we had probably like 12 dogs over there, like 12 pit bulls. But then we switched it to the big show dogs, you know what I'm saying? So now like we got all kind of dogs like that. And that really like it just kept going. Like our love for dogs and animals, like it just kept going. So if you can make some money off something that you love to do, like why not do it?
Sure, absolutely. And so where do you end up selling these dogs?
So like we got an Instagram, Level Up Kennels. And
Level Up?
Yeah, Level Up Kennels. And that's like our Instagram. So basically like I just sold dogs all in Memphis, Chicago. Like it got shippers who we ship the dog to these people. So like I got a couple dogs all over.
What kind of dogs do you specialize in?
Specialized XL bullies and English bulldogs.
Oh, the English bulldogs.
Oh
Those
yeah.
are cute. Those are cute ones. How long did it take you to become like? Was this an easy thing to start? Was it difficult?
Oh no, it wasn't easy because it most definitely cost some money. So
Yeah.
it wasn't easy because like to get a good dog, you gonna spend 3,000 and up. And
Right.
I'm in college at the time. So we was going half, but he was working, so he was putting in a little more. But now, like I can hold my end a lot more right now. So like we just put together and we just be getting dogs like any way to better our kennel. So I'm gonna say it took about a year and a half because when we first started and we had bred, like the puppies was so hard to sell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they was like so hard to sell.
Why?
We ended up keeping like 3 because like when you go from I feel like when you put some money into something and then you go to a different like bracket with the money, like you can't sell your dogs for $100 no more.
Oh yeah.
So like when the prices went up, like it slowed things down. But once people seen that we was producing quality dogs, right back up.
There you go. That which makes sense. So and what do you have plans to do? Expand this, or what do you hope to do with it?
Most definitely. Like I'm trying to hopefully like get a pet shop or facility built just for breeding dogs and like set up like probably like a rescue center just for like stray dogs, just to have come over to the kennel and just keep, or have people like come and bring their dogs over to us just to like a hotel.
Cool. So how important were dogs to you, even just growing up? Like, does it, did it, I don't know, was it a nice, I don't know, distraction, or what did they mean to you?
So like it just give you a thrill, like when you can train a dog, you know what I'm saying? Like if you could just train a dog to be disciplined, like that just channel your mind to be more disciplined, like just talking to your dog and getting them to learn different new things, you know what I'm saying? So like it was very important, because like my love for animals, like I just spoke on, like I'd rather be around animals all day than people, you know what I'm saying?
Really? And which, you know what, there are many days that I think a lot of people probably agree with you on that. And how many dogs do you have just of your own? Is it
Just
two?
to my own, uh 3.
Three. Okay. What kinds do you have?
I have a Frenchie and an XL bully. That's the ones that I keep in like my house. That's not at the kennel.
Okay. And how big is the kennel?
The kennel. We got a 12-yard fence built up, and we got a big backyard for them. So like we got some in the indoor, some outside, depending on like the breed and how they'll do in the heat and stuff like that. But we got mist fans on them and things like that. So it's pretty big. We probably got maybe 20 dogs right now in total.
So you got football, you got this. I mean, what else you got going on? You're a young guy. You've got a lot going on for yourself.
I don't really got
And
too much.
a newborn.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a lot.
I don't. Yeah, it's a lot, but I mean, when you've been doing it, I mean, it's like, and like you got like my partner, my cousin, like I know I could depend on him to hold it down while I'm gone. So like when you got somebody in your corner like that, I mean, he just make it easier for me. Like, and his love for dogs. I mean, when you got two people who really love something and trying to accomplish the same goal, I mean, things will go by smooth.
Yeah, now you're surrounded by a bunch of guys who have a lot of money who could afford to buy maybe some of those dogs. Make a
Right,
couple big hits on special teams. You never know what it leads to, right?
right.
So last thing then for you for rookie year, I know we're still a ways away from even training camp, but what do you hope to accomplish this year with this team?
The main thing I'm trying to accomplish is to get on the field and help my team win games and be the best teammate as I can be. That's really like what my mind focus on, and learning the playbook. Like learning the playbook is my main focus right now, and and getting on the field to help my team win.
And then early impressions of the talent that's around you on that defense.
What you said?
What your early impressions of the talent around you on defense?
Uh, I'm most definitely like impressed, like in like the different things that the guys do and like how they do 'em. Like they ain't just like know anybody. Like they really elite out there. But I mean, the world gonna see.
There you go. Percy, I appreciate your time, man. Thanks a lot. Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody, it's John Keim. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, and I'll continue to bring you guests who provide excellent insight into the Washington Commanders. And while you're here, check out the other terrific content on the Empire Media Network, including Inside the Cap with Joel Corey and All's Caps with Steve Wino and former Washington Capital Carl Alsner. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Thank you.